Hello folks and welcome back to the channel. Today I figured I would go through and tune up these AHM Alco Century locomotives. We have this one for the Milwaukee Road and this one for Burlington Northern here. Now full disclosure, I've actually already worked on this one here and we've given the wheels a good clean. We've dusted the walkways and the shell, cleaned it up a bit, and I'll show you how this one runs towards the end. I figured we'd go ahead and dive into the Burlington Northern one here. And I will also say I've already taken the shell off. Now if you're wondering how to get the shell off of these, it's got tabs at the front and the back and on the sides here. So you really just have to press down on those. The shell will pop off eventually. You can see the hole where those clips go through there, and then on the sides there, and there's another one at the front behind the pilot there. So this one I haven't touched yet, and you can tell it's a bit grimy, it's a bit dirty. You can see the commutator is kind of dirty there as well. And much like the AHM switcher in that pre-switcher combo video, this one is also one truck powered, and then the other truck just picks up the current from the back there. It doesn't actually do anything, but you can see it, a separate truck, this drive shaft here. I gotta wonder if I had another one of these for parts, if I could just add another powered truck there and increase the performance. That would be something that might be worth doing at some point. I'm not doing that with these because these are not mine to do that with. Maybe in the future if I could find some on the cheap. That might be a fun project, but I'm gonna go ahead and actually just go ahead and start cleaning this up, oiling, and getting the wheels cleaned, and we'll see how this goes. First things first, I'm actually going to put the shell off, try to get some of the dust off of the walkways. Just using a soft bristle brush here. Now you can see all that dust. Oof. I want to get into the steps as well. You know, a soft brush ensures that you're not damaging anything, the handrails or anything of that sort. I would argue that's better. Very nice. And then the shell here, I'm going to give it a light dusting as well, just to get the worst of it. I will probably just go ahead and run this under some warm water, but for now this should do fine. The dust buildup in the corners of the fans and the exhaust up here is the worst part. It's hard to get at, but it's nice to see these things still have their horns. I feel like that's always the first thing that breaks on these old toy train set locomotives. So that's excellent. And there's not a whole lot. Now if there's dust and crud inside the shell, I'd like to clean that up too. Yeah, I see just a bit. Okay, we'll call that good for now. Now, the next thing I'm going to do is clean the commutator, and using the trusty fiberglass pencil, I'm just gonna... Actually, I'm left-handed, so it'd probably be better if I did it this way. So I'm just gonna rotate the motor. And kind of hard to see there, but you can already see some shine happening. There we go. And after a few passes with the fiberglass pen, you can see the commutator is shining. Very nice. Next, I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit of oil to the oil bearing surfaces. So, a little bit of oil there. Whoop, don't drop the bottle of oil. And a little bit there. And I'm going to I'll just put a drop right there for now. Spin the motor a few times, let that oil work its way in. Okay, next I'm going to pop off the trucks and see if we can get some grease in there and get these wheels cleaned. Okay, so the trucks just snap in. Of course, they have these little clips. I just unclipped it from the back and it just kind of pops out. You got to be careful with the coupler here, but I'm just going to go ahead and take a dry Q-tip and just clean out any of the old dust that's in here. It's kind of dry. There's no grease or anything in here, at least not that I can see. So just clean these up. Yeah, there's not a whole lot. It's just accumulated dirt and probably carpet dust. Then we can see it's got the side frame pickups there and no grease on these gears, very dry. So pickups look very clean though, at least that side. That side looks pretty good too. I'm gonna take the wheels out and then I'm gonna go ahead and clean these. Normally I prefer to clean these while they're on the rolling road, it just makes it a lot faster, but in this case I'll just do these. So really only doing the one side because it has these traction tires. I'll try to remove some of that gunk that's built up there with a Q-tip, or a toothpick in this case. And we'll add some grease to these gears, and I'm going to clean off the gunk that's on the sides of the truck so you can see all that build up. So I'll start with that. I'm going to do a small drop of grease right on there, there, and there. And just let that sit for a moment while I'm just going to rotate the motor. And since this hasn't seen grease in a long time, I'm going to add just a tiny bit more on the opposite ends of the gears here. Just a small amount. There, and a little bit there. Okay, I'm going to just set this aside and try to scrape off any of this heavy gunk that's on these wheels. Oh, it's holding fast. And then after scraping the gunk off of the wheels with the toothpick, doing our best with the traction tires and all the gunk on there, go ahead and hit the part of the wheel that doesn't have a traction tire with the odorless mineral spirits here. Wheel backs are pretty clean. Just give them a swipe just in case. So that's one wheel down. I'll go ahead and do the other one. And with that, we have two clean wheels, or at least cleaner. One of these wheels, you can see some of the plating is starting to wear off. You can see the brass underneath, but it should still have some life in it. Hopefully I'm putting these in the correct way. I know there's a correct way to do these. Actually, let me double check with this one. Yeah, traction tires on the right. Or the left, rather. And a small drop those gears, and let's add the truck back. Alright, after some struggle, the truck is finally in, the wheels are finally in. These contacts like to push the wheels back out of the bearing slot there, so it's kind of a pain in the butt, but once you get them down, you know, you just snap the truck back in. And I'm just going to go ahead and do the same. I'm going to take this truck off and clean these wheels real quick. And that should be it. We'll go ahead and call this one done after that. So this back truck picks up, it looks like it has axle wipers. So that means, look at these axles, a good cleaning, as well as the wheels themselves. These back wheels definitely not as bad as the front when it comes to dirt. Okay, with the wheels clean, I'm gonna also just hit the contacts a little bit. Looks like there's just a little bit of grime there. We hit it with the fiberglass pencil a little bit too, give them a little bit of a shine. Again, I'm left-handed, why am I doing this right-handed? Looks like they still have plenty of spring in them, so that's good. And then it just clips back into place, and you're done. That's pretty much it. This weight is really loose. I think the only thing holding it in is the wiring, so I'm just gonna leave that alone, I think. And you can kind of see the red gear there. I'm not going to pop the tower off of this, but I am going to take a toothpick and add some fresh grease to that, I think. Doesn't look like it's, yeah, it's very dry, so I'm just gonna do that real quick. It's got a fresh toothpick, little bead there. Okay. All right, let's put these guys on the track and, you know, see how they perform. Okay, there it is, down on the track, AHM Century, Burlington Northern 853, ready to go. Let's give it a test and see how it runs. And just a heads up, I've only got a small section of track laid out. I didn't feel like putting up the full loop, to be honest. And yeah, so bear with me, please. But let's see how it does. I bet with a better controller this would perform a little bit better too, but that's not too bad. Yeah, I'm okay with that. That seems to be alright. Alright, Milwaukee Road 807. Let's see if this one performs any better than the other one. Turn up the controller. It's quite loud. Oop, kind of jumped at the start, but again, that's probably my controller. It's very on-off in one direction and very smooth in the other direction. Can't get much of a crawl out of these. Those light bulbs still work pretty nice though. And for the sake of finding out, let's see how they perform on the track together, if one is faster than the other, and I'm sure that will be the case, but let's take a look. So BN is just a little faster, and they are now coupled up together. Oh, there you have it. The Burlington Northern has a little bit of a wobble to it at a moderate but not crawling speed, and the Milwaukee Road one I think is a little smoother in that respect. But overall, you know, not bad. In a little starter train set, I think these will do very nicely. All right, so not too bad with these guys. I think they'll make an excellent starter locomotive for a young kid who's just looking to maybe get into the hobby. And I think they'll do well pulling a couple of freight cars. These will get the job done, I think. I'm definitely a fan of, I think, the Milwaukee Road one a little bit more. I like the color, and I think it's an interesting paint scheme. I think that one performed better too, all things considered. I didn't really do anything different between the two of them. They both got the same treatment. It is what it is, I guess. You know, if I was keeping these, I'd probably play around with them and maybe see if I could put one powered truck into the other, and then maybe replace that 3-pole motor with maybe like a coreless motor or something a little bit more substantial. I think that'd be an interesting test, and could be a fun project just to, you know, upgrade these old train set locomotives. They're generally sold very cheap at train shows, and it could be a fun project. Not a project I'm willing to take on at the moment though. And as said before, these are not mine, so I can't do that with these. But that's going to do it today, folks. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and I will hopefully see you in the next one. If you enjoyed this content, please consider subscribing for more.